Well, good morning. I'm between you and your coffee. So what I promise, I'm going to entertain you this morning. How many of you have heard of NanoPrintek before? Okay, great. So for those of you who know, I'm going to show you some very interesting stuff today that this is the first time I'm going to announce. And for those of you who don't know, the entire show is going to be interesting to you anyways. So yes, we are NanoPrintek, and we don't use ink. And let me see if I can manage to work with this. Probably not. Yes, as you see, from the entire industry, the entire printing mechanisms are based on ink so far in the past 20, 30 years. And to print, for example, let's say if you're using aerosol jet or inkjet-based printing, you have to first come up with some sort of ink. And usually the ink manufacturing is going to take between 2 to 10 years if you're successful. In past 20 years, the most ink that is being used in industry is silver. There is a reason for that. It's because it's very challenging to make your ink. You know, if you want to go for new inks, let's say platinum, gold, or some exotic inks, let's say some alloys or composites, it's very, very challenging. It's going to take you 10 to 20 years even to formulate that ink. Once you have the ink, because you have added so many stuff into your ink is going to be contaminated. No matter how hard you try to sinter and clean those junk from your ink, your printed electronic is going to be contaminated no matter what. So these are all challenges. Of course, when you buy ink, and if you, let's say, you pay $10,000 to $15,000 to buy gold ink, it's going to survive probably 2 months, 3 months. And if you forgot to put it in fridge, the next day is dead. So these are all the challenges. Of course, because of that, there are not so many available materials to print, and you have to do a lot of post-processing and machine cleaning every single time you use. That takes almost 2 to 3 hours a day of your time just cleaning the machine. So these are all challenges, and most of you already know if you're sitting in this room. Now, what we do is, I don't know why I'm using this, but what we do is completely inkless. We start from a solid target. You can, for example, if you want to print any metals, semiconductors, dielectrics, alloys, composites, you start from a solid target. That solid target goes inside the machine, and the machine will generate nanoparticles in real time and on demand. Those nanoparticles come out as a pure particle, and then you can do laser sintering in real time. So what you start with, if it is 99.99% pure, your printed electronics will be the same purity. So that's quite interesting. And of course, because of that, you can do multi-material, you can do hybrid structures, and so on and so forth. So you can see that you don't need any ink at all. There are no contaminations, because the purity is going to be the purity of the targets that you started with, and then no pollution involved. I'll show you some example of why this is almost zero pollution technology. And of course, no post-processing. It's extremely eco-friendly. You can do multi-material printing because the machine takes up to 6 targets in our current machines. And it is extremely cost-effective, up to 3,000x compared to ink-based technologies. And I'll show you some examples there as well. An effective time cycle. You don't have to spend years formulating ink. You can do it immediately. And I'll show you an example of printing an exotic rock just in a matter of minutes. So now looking at the supply chain, if you look at the world today, supply chain is a big, big issue. And depending on where those things are manufactured, if one of those chains are broken in the conventional ink-based technology, for example, you start from a raw material, you go through nanopowder manufacturing industry, and it goes to ink manufacturing industry, and then you print, and you do post-processing, and you have the final print. Anything that breaks in that supply chain, you're out. Now, in our technology, you start from a raw material, and you immediately have your final print in a matter of minutes. No supply chain involved. As long as you have access to raw material, you're good to go. So that's the difference in terms of sustainability and security of this printing technology, especially when it comes to, for example, Lockheed Martin or any defense industries. This is quite critical. Now, looking at this is a nice comparison. If you want to take a picture, go ahead and you can study yourself. The differences in cost, in time,